Hi, Brendan, good afternoon. What are you feeling about this game tomorrow? Is it a game you really have to win?
Well, we want to win it, that's for sure. It's a game we're really excited about. The Champions League story so far has been, in the main, really good for us, and especially at home. So we're excited about the challenge of the game and looking forward to it.
Yeah, Callum spoke quite a lot about how he expects young boys to approach this game a wee bit differently from other teams you've played so far in the campaign. How do you see that?
Well, I think it's a team now, obviously, that you have to respect every team at this level. I know there'll be lots of noise around the record and where they're at, but they're a team that won the Swiss League last season by 12 points. And obviously it hasn't gone so well for them this season. I think they've got the third manager now. So, but the games that we've watched, they are what you expect a team of this level to have: athletic ability and quality. But really, the focus has to be very much on ourselves. So we will respect the opponent, but for us, we want to really press and continually attack the game for 90 plus minutes, and if we can do that and get that special feeling that comes with that type of performance in this arena, then it can be a great night for us. But as I said, you always have to respect how every team's set up and the qualities that they have, and that's why they're in the competition.
Given what's at stake tomorrow night, do you expect maybe a wee bit of nervousness, perhaps not with the players, but with supporters?
No, well, that's up to us. We, we've played here and had some really good games this season, and the supporters have been absolutely fantastic. I think what is important is that, the classic example is the Bruges game. Probably the feeling can be that you're playing Red Bull Leipzig, so you're maybe feeling the wee bit of the underdog, and so there's that push to get you over the line. We can't not think it's any different just because we're playing young boys, or like we play with Bruges, because we've seen Bruges, who are a very, very good side, have more experience in the Champions League than ourselves in recent history, and had some very good players. So I think it's about creating the environment and that ambience to help really push the players. But like I say, it's up to us in the game to really go and play with that speed and quality that we've shown at this level, especially at home.
Yeah, you mentioned the Leipzig game there, probably one of the high points in recent years for Celtic. But then in the last two European matches, you haven't quite managed to create as many chances. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, it's Champions League. It happens. Bruges was, as I said, was a really good reaction second half. We were second best in the first half, but the players dug deep and came back and could have easily won the game in the second half. The Zagreb game was a game where we didn't quite find our level. It wasn't a great game, to be honest, but you can't dismiss a point at this level. So you're not going to just turn up at this level and steamroller every team that you play. It's just not possible. But we're really focused and ready to perform in this game.
Brendan, having worked your way through this new Champions League format, how does it feel to now stand knowing that what's at stake and what a win can do for you in terms of progression?
Well, it's a great position for us to be in. I think that when we started this journey, we wanted to show that we can compete at this level, and can we go and make the next steps and get into the playoff stage. So we've been able to get ourselves into a really good position with 9 points, and our home form at the level has been really good. And we have that opportunity now to take a big step to get to the playoff.
How much do you lean into that stuff, and use it to inspire the players, and how much does that sometimes cloud just focusing on the job in hand?
What stuff's that?
The incentive, the chance to go through everything that goes along, everything that's at stake. Do you lean into that with the players?
Well, I think the players are aware of it. I think they're not blind to it. They understand the magnitude of the game, but they also understand, it's about performing. I think that's key. I think key in games like this here is that you play the game and not the occasion. The occasion's absolutely massive for us, but we can only get to where we want to get to by playing to the levels that we've played at, especially at home. So, and that's through our focusing on the performance, and that's what we've talked about over the last few days.
You say there, Brendan, it's about playing the game, not the occasion. We spoke to Alistair Johnson after the weekend's game, and he said it's a bit like a cup final. You win, you go through, and that's what you've been longing to do for so long here at this club. Is that what you want it to feel like out there in the stands? You want it to feel like a final?
Yeah, well, I think it's what makes Celtic Park so special. Many teams will tell you about the stadiums and that special atmosphere, but this really is a stadium that is iconic with the atmosphere, and it's hard to analyse that and look at that, but it's just how it feels. I think there's a night game here in the Champions League gives us a real connection with the past and the great story that this club has with this competition and many years ago, and it's what the culture and the history of this club has been set on. A club that won the European Cup at that time, playing the most amazing football through that sequence of games to then end up, and that's what creates your culture and your history, and that's what we sort of live to replicate each and every season we play. So I think our feeling going into this game is to have that synergy, because it's so important. It's what as I said, the founding values of this club has been about connection, people together. So we get that tomorrow night, and we've seen it already this season. It's the most amazing place to be in, and that's what we want to have tomorrow.
You talk about the culture and the history of this club in this competition. What would it mean to you to lead Celtic into the knockout stages?
Well, clearly very special. It's something that I haven't done. I mentioned when I came back that we would like to make genuine progress at this level. I never promised anything. I just promised we would do our very best, but look to see if we could progress, because it's been such a long time. There's been some good performances without the results. The managers before me have done great jobs here, and obviously, but what we wanted to do was to be able to make that next step, and I feel we're in a great position to do that.
Just a quick one on the squad. Everyone okay for tomorrow? Any change from the weekend?
No, we're all good, apart from James Forrest. Everyone else is fit and ready.
Great. Brendan, the word maturity has been used quite a lot. Callum used it as well. Even in the last couple of games, you couldn't win them, but you made sure you didn't lose them. Are you seeing a team growing up in front of your very eyes? Yeah,
I think, Craig, that they're definitely evolving, and that's what you want to be able to see. And I think we've seen that after the Dortmund game, because that was a real challenging night for us all. But how do we respond to that, and how can we recover from that? And I think you've seen that maturity and honesty in the team. So I think that it's something that the players feel, and we've seen that ultimately in the performance level. So we're definitely improving and developing at the very, very highest level of the European game, and if we're going to sustain it over a number of years, this has been a really good start for us.
Talk about the Champions League story so far. Can you envisage in your mind's eye the perfect final chapter?
We'll win tomorrow night. I think that's if we can win tomorrow night, puts us in a fantastic position. No, I think the perfect story always here is to make the supporters and the people proud of your performance level. We know the challenges at this level once you get to a certain point, but for me it is for the supporters to dream, but to see the pitch on the team on the pitch, play the football that we like to play, and like we've seen in other games here, when we're fast and dynamic and attacking and pressing with, and everything about our game is about the press to get the ball to score goals and create goals. And when we do that, then that's when we look a really good side, and then let's see where it can take us then.
Brendan, that maturity you talk about, how as a coach do you work in that? How do you develop that in the team?
I think it's just patience, and I think it's time and it's support. It's how you react to certain situations as well. That every situation for you really is a learning. It's very easy to, like after the Dortmund, to go absolutely mad, but it's not the case, especially when you're working with a group that are giving you everything every single day. So I just think the maturity comes from the experiences, of course. It comes from recognising in the game that, like what you mentioned, understanding the game, where if you cannot win it, then do everything you can to not lose it. That doesn't mean stop attacking. It just means be cuter in the game. And that's from experience, and that's from analysis, it's from showing, it's from coaching, it's from speaking. But ultimately it's finding and feeling the feeling after experience. So for example, you go away to Atalanta, that proves that you can actually defend at the highest level of this competition. Against a team that score goals at the very highest level. So when you produce that maturity and that type of performance, well, that makes you feel good. So you can do it. So I think it's mostly experience and time and support. Hopefully, we'll gain that maturity.
And if the team can get through and progress to the next stage, what would that say about them?
It would say that they've matured. It would say that they show, and because your actions always will represent your development, and I think this team have, and certainly, but from my own view of seeing them since I've come here, seeing that development and the consistency that they've showed, it would be a great sign that you can actually do it, and so I think once you make those steps, then that will give you confidence going forward. So but I'm just looking forward to seeing us perform. Everyone will look at the expectation that's on us, but we expect ourselves to go and perform. We've had 3 games here now at this stadium. The atmosphere has been incredible, and we want to bring that again and finish off this run of games in the group stages with a win.
Hi, Brendan. About a month ago, you said that we were entering an ultra-marathon period of fixtures. We're kind of at the tail end of that at the moment. Young boys' preparation to this is quite night and day by contrast. If you could have had things your own way and decided, would you have chosen the lead up to the game we've had, or would you have taken a break with maybe one game in advance beforehand?
I think a recovery would have been nice at some stage. But listen, people don't want to hear you're tired. They don't want to hear it. So it's natural. There's fatigue will be there for players. If you look throughout the British game, it's there. You see it in injuries. You see it in everything. But we're ready. We played Saturday here. We played a really good game. We should have been more clinical and should have scored more goals, but we got through and played well. We've had enough good time to recover now, and now we're ready and ready to go. So there's never an ideal preparation, but all you can say is that you're ready, and we are.
And over this period, we've had to come up to solutions with a lot of problems. Kyogo, for the last couple of weeks when he's playing out wide, it's kind of reminded a lot of fans, I think, that he's got a lot more strings to his bow. Is that sort of, rediscovery of him a little bit, is that something that could be a big part in this game?
It may be if I decide to play him there. I think what he's shown is he has the flexibility to do that. But the one thing I would say with Kyogo, in terms of how my teams have always played, he's the absolute ideal prototype of player that plays for me as a striker. Firstly, his pressing is incredible. The speed in which he presses, the constant work rate is there. And then clearly then with the ball, his movement, his touch, his awareness, and all those things that he brings to the game is is absolutely perfect to play in a team of mine. So, but like you say, he showed that off a wider position, he can do that. I believe he came in here as a wide player, so he can clearly play in that position. But I think the flexibility is good. But we had to do that whenever we had players that were injured. So if we need it again, there's a possibility to do it. But his best position is as a central striker.
Brendan, you mentioned the club's history in this tournament, and for years, obviously, people speak about the atmosphere when they come here. How good has it been for you to see the team itself be, respected again at this level?
It's very important, because I think that's what you value. Your resources and finances will be nowhere near some teams at this level. However, you still have the ability to compete and play a level of football that makes your club proud, and I think we've done that. I think the Leipzig, after that game, I couldn't have been more happier with the team's performance of that game, and how we started the game, how we responded to go behind, how we played, how our press and everything on the pressure was there, the creativity, the chances created, the goals, everything I'd want in a team. We've seen that night against Leipzig. So, and that there goes around. That goes around that. We want this place to be a difficult place to come to. It was for a number of years. It's been a challenging decade for this club because of resources and everything else. But I think we're starting to see that we really can compete, and not just compete, but play to a level of football that is synonymous with this club. And if we can continue to do that, that would, of course, make us really, really proud.